Arman Tsarukyan claims he will be the backup fighter for Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje. Arman is hoping Gaethje pulls out so he can fight Ilia, take his belt, and kick him out of the UFC. Arman said, "I'll be waiting for the White House to see how Ilia Topuria performs. Yes, I'll be a backup. I'll stay on a diet starting in May. If something happens, if someone gets injured, I can step in on a week or two's notice. I'd want Justin Gaethje to pull out. Gaethje pulls out, I fight Topuria, take the belt, and kick him out of the UFC. That's my goal." Dustin Poirier still doesn't like Conor McGregor. On the Deep Waters podcast today, Chris Weidman discussed McGregor's leg injury from his last fight with Poirier, saying that he hopes for the best for McGregor moving forward. In response, Poirier stated that he actually hopes for the worst for him.
Go to Dustin first. Dustin, what are the chances, percentage-wise, what are the chances that Conor comes back?
I'm gonna go 60. 60 he does, 40 he doesn't.
All right, I'm gonna go 80%. He's in the drug testing pool. You know, like for you to come off of stuff, get back in that drug testing pool, you better, fight. Otherwise, you're just gonna, feel worse than you used to feel for no reason. So, I think he fights for sure. But I say 80% only because, the injury or something like that happens. I think he won't fight.
These guys had the same surgery, so I don't know anything about that.
Oh yeah, but that was in 2021. He's had enough time to recover, but I will say, like, your first time coming back, because I went through a very similar injury, it is hard to be the person you were beforehand, for sure, and I hope the best for him. But I remember in training camp, I would be throwing kicks. Like, I would try to force myself.
Hope the worst for him.
Yeah, I know, my bad.
Dana White discusses RAF using a lot of UFC fighters for their events, and them recently announcing that they've signed Khamzat Chimaev.
I saw just a couple hours ago, Real American Freestyle Wrestling announced that they had signed Khamzat Chimaev to a deal. I'm just wondering if you knew about that, or if
who signed to a deal?
RAF, the wrestling promotion.
Oh yeah, okay.
Signed Chimaev to a deal.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts on that, and just kind of RAF, what they've done over the past few months, and they've been putting on a lot of events with UFC talent.
Yeah.
Just what you make of that.
Good for them. Yeah. I hope it works out for them. Yeah.
Dana White also spoke on the news of Carlos Ulberg snapping his ACL and whether or not the UFC will strip him or make an interim title. Dana says they haven't discussed it just yet.
Has there been any talk about yet what you do at 205? I mean, it's going to be a while.
Yeah, so
to fight again.
One of the good things about it is he was at Power Slap last night, and I was talking to him, and he's going to stay in Vegas. So he got the surgery. He's going to start working at the PI. Apparently where he lives in Australia, he's in a remote part of the country, so there wasn't a lot around him. And what we used to find before we built the Performance Institute is we would get these guys surgery with great doctors, then they'd go back home and wouldn't do anything. They didn't do any physical therapy and recovery. So now with the PI, that place has saved more fights and helped more athletes prolong their careers, and we'll get him in there, see how fast he starts to recover, and we always figure it out.
I know Paulo Costa has been talking already about interim belts and whatnot. I assume you guys haven't really had that conversation yet.
We have not, yeah. Carlos is still getting set up here, but we will figure it out.
Jiri Prochazka recently welcomed the birth of his daughter. Today he posted footage of himself babysitting. Ilia Topuria says he feels sorry for his training partners who have to mimic Justin Gaethje.
Complicado que tengan que simular el estilo de Justin Gaethje, yo lo siento por ellos. Podría ser un poquito mejor, le salía el trabajo más fácil. Lanza golpes desde ángulos muy raros, baja las manos cuando pega con la otra. Es raro, muy raro.
Curtis Blaydes watched the replay of his loss to Josh Hokit on stream last night. Blaydes admitted that he was expecting Hokit to rely on his wrestling, but was surprised when he chose to stand and trade instead.
Sprinting, and we was expecting him to sprint, but we was expecting him to sprint into the wrestling. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't think he was gonna want to stand and bang like this. But once it started happening, I got the bloodlust, and I was like, okay, I guess we're on our feet. Like here, I could feel Herb like behind me. I could feel him behind me. I'm like, oh, we're about to get the finish. We're about to get it. But also you gotta remember, this is Herb. Herb will let you die. Well, Herb was gonna let Hokit die, and he did, and it led to us having that great fight. That's a good jab. That's a good jab. One more. Oh, he slipped that one. He got me. Yeah, I wasn't moving my head for I ain't gonna lie. I thought I was moving it. I wasn't. I thought I was. That was. But we eating that. We eating that. I got a big hit. Here, I thought I had him again. I thought I had him again. And this right here, this is where I think the judges were like, oh, he's been active in the last 10 seconds, and this really swayed him. He's a lot more active than me in this last little flurry. I'll give him that. But hey, when I'm standing here, I thought I was gonna win. I thought I had it. I do appreciate Hokit for bringing that, because it brought the best out of me, and we put on a great performance. I do appreciate that. And I want more opportunities to make some special moments like that. But I need to go against good guys. No, great guys.
Mike Malott defeated Gilbert Burns via third-round TKO at UFC Winnipeg over the weekend. Burns, who turns 40 later this year, has now suffered 5 consecutive losses. Following the fight, he announced his retirement from MMA. Vicente Luque shared footage of Burns arriving home from Canada, where he was welcomed by friends and family. On the Ariel Helwani show, Mike Malott reflects on his victory over Gilbert Burns. Despite it being his first time competing in a UFC main event, Malott says he felt calm.
Not really. I feel like I said a lot of the right things, and I feel like sometimes it can feel like people, like I might have been trying to relieve the pressure almost the way that I was saying it, but it was genuine. I'm like, no, I genuinely feel calm. People talking about, well, there's a lot of pressure, your main event, but I thought of it as not being that different as how, to how a lot of my fights in Canada have felt. To be honest, a lot of them have felt like there's a ton of expectation for me and pressure on me and expectations for me. And then as far as my mindset goes, my fight is always like the main event. You know, in my mind, it's the most important fight of the night. So for me, it's not that different. But it's one thing to say all that. It's one thing to say like I've had pressure in the past and so it won't affect me going into this fight. But then to actually go out there and feel it and think, no, like everything I said is how I genuinely feel, and I feel like my performance showed that. So yeah, I'm really happy about that part of things.
Following his unanimous decision loss to Caio Borralho, Reinier De Ridder announced that he will be moving up to the light heavyweight division. In a recent YouTube video, RDR revealed that on fight night at middleweight, he would weigh around 215 pounds.
How much do you weigh in the cage? So at middleweight, I would get up to like 215 pounds on fight night. So like 96 kilos, something like that. But I think the weight cut got worse and worse every time I did it. It was just a big stress on my body. In one, I used to fight at 205, so all my fights were at 205 because we kind of didn't do weight cuts there. They kind of tried to stop people from cutting weight with hydration tests and everything. My like natural walk around weight was like 210 at the time, so like 95 kilos, something like that. So I wouldn't really cut weight. I would just eat a little less the few days before and make 205.
Daniel Cormier and Carlos Ulberg were sitting next to each other at Wrestlemania last night.
Hey, I show up to Wrestlemania, seat next to me is empty, and I'm wondering who's coming. The champ here. Hey, look at that. He said, man, this crazy. I said, well, you got that belt now. Look where he's sitting. Look at the champ. This that championship life, huh? Let's go, champ. Let's go.
Conor McGregor posted footage of himself hitting pads. At the moment, McGregor does not have a fight officially booked. However, rumors are circulating about a potential matchup with Max Holloway sometime this summer.
Yes, down from Nico. Oh, sí, su press. All right, down through my shoulder. There you go. I'll do it again. 2 more.
Ciryl Gane is training with Artem Vahidov ahead of his fight against Alex Pereira at the White House. For those unfamiliar, Vahidov is the last man to defeat Pereira in kickboxing. The two met twice in glory, with Pereira winning their first bout in 2021 via split decision. They ran it back later that year, where Vahidov earned a majority decision victory. Arman Tsarukyan says he will fight around June, and it could be for the featherweight title against Alexander Volkanovski.
У тебя дата есть, не говорил? Ну, приблизительно это июнь. Сейчас определяется, с кем я буду драться. Может быть, даже такое, что я спущу в 66, там за титул буду драться. 66. Кто в данный момент чемпион? Волконовский. Я думаю, тебя могут поставить с монстром, и кто выиграет, уже есть Volkanovski. Ну, посмотрим, как что будет. Вообще желательно, чтобы я остался в своей весовой категории в 70 килограмм. Но это я, если не получится подраться, если предложат мне на 66 за титул. А так с кем-то драться на 66 смысла нет. Я лучше подерусь с кем-то у себя в весовой категории. Тем более в нашей весовой категории намного больше имен, много звезд, с кем можно подраться и заработать больше денег и медийно в плане тоже.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos.
Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Longhorns 2005. It's in reference to Arman getting kicked off the American Airlines flight. It says, Arman gonna buy the airline and fire everyone. The second one's from INBM 2102. It's in reference to Jiri Prochazka welcoming the birth of his daughter. It says, imagine Jiri pointing down during the delivery. And the final one's from Largemouth Fisherman. It's in reference to Colby Covington saying he no longer cares about fighting on the White House. It says, Colby coping Covington.
Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.